Okay, so Halloween's coming up soon, so I thought it was good to kind of get out one more video. I know I said I wasn't sure if I was going to get it out, but I actually have a good idea. It's sort of a movie recommendation of sort of a horror comedy. I'm sure you know the title of the movie. So we're talking about Happy Death Day, a horror comedy sort of slasher film that released in 2018, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed this movie. I liked it on my first viewing, but like in my second viewing, I just thought it was, I liked it a lot. So, in order to keep my thoughts somewhat organized, I wrote down my thoughts in this notebook here. So, give me a second to look through it. You know, the beauty of editing is you can just, I can just cut to the point where I get all my ideas. Good place to start is the plot of the story. We follow a university student named Tree, played by Jessica Roth, and it's her birthday, but the problem is she gets murdered, like in the first 10 minutes of the film. But then the thing is, she's sort of forced to relive the same day over and over until she figures out who her killer is and find a way to break the loop. It's sort of a mixture of Groundhog Day and I guess your typical slasher film to a degree, and I'll say it works really well. I think one of Happy Death Day's biggest strengths is the tone. It doesn't go for an overly serious vibe, and I enjoy that. So many movies today are just so obsessed with like, oh look, this is very deep, this is high art.
Excuses to like eat cake and open presents and shit. There's no real meaning behind it.
No, it's symbolic.
Yeah, if I'm coming off as a little crazy in this video, that's what you get when you have something completely unscripted. Well, I guess that doesn't really change things because most of my videos are unscripted. But, yeah, we talked about the plot. Now, let's talk about the things I really like. I mentioned the tone, which I think is great. It's sort of a horror comedy, and while the horror side, it's sort of typical, while I still think the typical slasher scenes are well directed. It's sort of things you've seen before. But I think, who was the director? Was it Christopher Landon? If I got the name wrong, I'll just flash it on screen real quick. I think he did a good job of sort of directing it. There's this energy and excitement to it that just kind of keeps you hooked. And I guess we can talk about the character and the actor who portrays Tree, Jessica Roth. Now, it's important to note that at the start of the movie, Tree is an unlikable piece of shit, if I were to put it bluntly.
It's none of my business, but I think something like this is bound to have some pretty serious consequences.
You're right. It is none of your business.
And throughout the film, as she continually gets murdered over and over again, she sort of comes to terms that she's kind of a terrible person. And I really like that aspect. And Jessica Roth's performance really elevates it, because a character like this, there's a risk that the audience won't really connect with her, or just thinks she's a terrible person and not care. And while Tree is a horrible person at the start of the movie, she's rude to everyone she talks to, she has an affair with her professor who's married. So that's a big yikes moment, and it's really like the film does a great job of sort of showing her slowly become a better person, and I guess sort of let loose in some scenes. There's this montage in the movie, as cheesy as it was, I loved it. It was pretty funny and silly, but in a really good way. Not silly in a way where you're just shaking your head wanting the scene to end, but there's just a charm to it all, and that's the best way to explain this movie. It's fun, it's self-aware, but yeah, exactly, it's fun.
Jeez.
Okay, I sort of fixed the light. I'm not sure if it fixed. It might appear too bright as before it was too dim, but we'll go with the setup. I mean, it's okay. I'm just gonna put it a little here. I don't want it right in my eyes. But okay, so what were we talking about? So much energy with the film, and considering it's a short runtime, it's around 80 minutes or so. It never really breaks a sweat. Like, all the things you have to know happen, and the movie just keeps going. And I really appreciate that. It's really well paced, and there's sort of a nice emotional edge to it, like Tree learning to be a better person, and sometimes sort of letting loose and going a little crazy, like knowing that, yes, living life to her fullest before she dies. Okay, that doesn't sound very wholesome. But anyways, it's sort of a feel-good movie, which is sort of contradictory to the title, but that's what I really appreciate about Happy Death Day. It's in a world where everything's so negative and things kind of seem bleak. It's nice to have a movie that isn't afraid to have fun with the genre and provide a movie that would kind of put a smile on your face. And I'm being kind of vague about certain aspects of the movie because I don't want to go into spoilers. And yeah, there is sort of a twist at near the end of the movie that was a bit ridiculous. But even the main character kind of says, wow, that's kind of stupid. So I'm not sure if that completely excuses it. But Happy Death Day, it's a special movie in that regard. It shows Blumhouse at its strongest, in which they could create movies that are unique and are just a lot of fun to watch. The Hunt was a great example of a political satire that was also a lot of fun, which was also like another film that I really liked and feel like it aged really well. And how a Happy Death Day isn't as deep as, say, The Hunt, it's still a movie that feels good. It's still a movie that makes you feel really good and is a lot of fun. It shows that you can always sort of be a better person, and how we can kind of make the best out of really weird and horrifying situations. So yeah, I guess that wraps up my thoughts on Happy Death Day. It's well directed. Jessica Roth has a lot of charisma and just elevates the movie. And the comedy, it's pretty good. I definitely chuckled a couple times. And overall, this is just a movie that's a lot of fun. I would highly recommend Happy Death Day. I know I'm not giving it a score, but maybe I don't have to for this one instance. Since this is sort of a special Halloween video, it may not seem like it because the production values may not be so high, but it's a recommendation. So yeah, Happy Death Day is a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend it. Thanks for watching. See ya.